Hi there, and welcome to 272analytics.com's tutorial on the use of a vertical bar graph in Stata. In order to do so, we'll start with the Census 13 dataset, which we will load here using the web use command. And just to remind you, this is a dataset about the demographic qualities of states, including birth rate, population, and so forth, sorted by region, division. We are going to create a bar graph today featuring population. And the first thing we'll do is we'll create a bar graph of population over region. And let me show you that code again before we look at the graph. So in Stata, you do graph bar followed by your dependent variable, what you could call your dependent variable here, which is population. And over is a means of sort of putting in what you might call an independent variable or a classifying variable. And here I've picked region. And this is what that graph looks like. So we can see that Northeast has the largest mean population, followed by North Central, South, and West. A word to the wise, a bar graph of this kind is not really useful for statistical analysis. We don't have any confidence intervals. We don't have outliers. We don't have that kind of information that would make this very useful. So this kind of bar graph would be perhaps appropriate for a corporate setting or just something that has to look good more than a graph that represents a proper accompaniment to real analysis, just so you know. That being said, now let me show you what happens when we use this by command instead. So we went from over region to by region, and the difference is that when you use the by command, the different levels of the sorting variable get broken out separately. So instead of having Northeast, North Central, etc. in the same graph, we lined up neatly like you saw, we have them broken out this way. A couple of other points here. You can tack on color schemes if you like. And here I've used the S1 mono color scheme, which is kind of grayscale for people working in APA format. This might be a good color scheme to use, to mess with this. You can open up your graph editor if you like, and if you did that, you could click individually on these labels if you wanted to change their naming or their size. If you wanted to, for example, change this here to just say population rather than mean of population and so forth. You could do all that kind of manipulation using the graph editor. I'm not going to show you how exactly to do that because there are literally hundreds of things that you can do in Stata once you open that graph editor. You have pinpoint control over all your graphics and your text and so forth. So if you need more customization within your bar graph, I suggest you open up your graph editor and just start playing with it. It's very simple, intuitive to use, and quite powerful. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you, and I would like to invite you to visit 272analytics.com for access to all our free statistics tutorials in Stata, SPSS, R, eViews, and Minitab. Here at 272analytics.com, we provide data consulting primarily to graduate students. Therefore, we work very closely with you in order to perfect your Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. That means helping you design surveys, getting your data input, assisting you with fashioning appropriate research questions and hypotheses, getting your data, extracting them, transforming them, cleaning them, putting them through analysis, interpreting them, explaining them to you so that at the end of the day, you know exactly what story your data tell, why they matter, what they mean, in a manner that lets you write a perfect Chapter 4 following a perfect Chapter 3, and lets you defend your dissertation or thesis with complete confidence. We provide ethical consulting. It's not a writing service, so you will be responsible for taking our blueprint, our assistance, our consulting, and transforming them into an appropriate academic project for yourself. I'd also like to remind you that we provide the same services to undergraduate students who are working with quantitatively oriented assignments. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.